I want to first thank the senator from South Dakota for his indulgence for 5 minutes or so to do this, and the senator from Indiana for yielding his time to me. We got a little bit out of order on the floor, but I really wanted to come before the night was out to speak about an incredible chance we have with respect to fixing our broken immigration system. Over the next few weeks, the Senate has a golden opportunity to do something great, to do something important, to do something that shows that Washington can actually work, that we're aligned to the priorities of the American people, that we can take on hard challenges and solve them. That's the opportunity before us, and I have to say a thank you to all of my colleagues that served in this so-called Gang of Eight and worked, I would say, not even in a bipartisan way, I would say in a nonpartisan way to fix problems that afflict our economy and our democracy throughout the country in different ways. And I particularly want to thank Senator John McCain and Senator Schumer for their leadership during good times, but particularly during the tough times during this negotiation. You know, a lot of people that I represent sometimes wonder whether Washington is just irretrievably broken, whether or not we can actually do something in the regular order instead of just in the middle of the night. And to them, I can come to the floor tonight and say, finally, we have a process that we can be proud of. We have a bipartisan bill, a dozen hearings on this issue, Madam President, almost a month between the introduction of the bill and the committee markup, 37 hours of consideration in the Senate Judiciary Committee, 300 amendments filed, 212 considered. I think 141 of these amendments from our colleagues were actually approved. Even some of the harshest critics of the bill have commended the open and transparent process, and I'm grateful to Chairman Leahy for his work and the members of the Judiciary Committee. In the coming weeks, many more amendments will be before this body. Voices on every side of the issue will continue to have the chance to be heard, which is the way democracy ought to work. And at the end of the day, we can't squander the greatest chance in a generation, in 25 years, to fix our broken immigration system. No one understands this better than the people of Colorado. The people that I represent, who, even though they don't think of themselves this way particularly, are a third Democratic, a third Republican, and a third independent. From end to end, corner to corner of our great western state, people have said to me, Michael, when are these guys going to fix this broken immigration system? With agriculture on the West Slope in northern Colorado and on the Eastern Plains, it's a $40 billion impact to our state. We have great high tech in Colorado, people inventing the future as we stand here today in bioscience, aerospace, engineering, and a growing startup community. Colorado's high tech sector includes more than 10,000 companies. And my hope is that 5 years from now, there'll be 10,000 more. And 5 years after that, 10,000 more than that. And 150,000 workers today that produce almost $3 billion of exports each year, as well as a new patent office opening soon. We have a huge tourism industry. Hotels, restaurants, and the ski industry struggle to find the workers they need. The ski industry alone brings in 57 million visitors to the country each year, many of these people traveling to Colorado year after year after year. We have a growing Latino population. It's almost 21% of our state's population. In places like the Denver Public Schools, a place I had the privilege to work before I came to the Senate, over half our students are Latino. So that's why we set out several years ago to have a conversation in Colorado, in the rural parts of the state, in the urban parts of the state, with our high-tech community, with our agricultural community, saying, what needs to be done? We brought together business leaders, farmers, faith leaders, law enforcement, advocates and community leaders, and we said, Washington's broken, we can't wait for them to act, but what can we do here in Colorado? And we came up with 7 principles for immigration reform, which are now reflected in the legislation before us. And it turns out that actually, for once, we underestimated this place. That this place was willing to approach this work with the seriousness of purpose that Colorado citizens were. I want to tell, Madam President, one Colorado story to reflect this, and I assure my colleague from South Dakota I've just got a couple more minutes. But Wayne Mininger, an onion farmer from Greeley, Colorado. Wayne also represents onion farmers across the nation as head of the National Onion Association. Growing up on his father's farm in California's San Joaquin Valley, and now owning his own farm in Greeley, Colorado, he's witnessed farmers' struggles to find reliable labor his entire working life. The farmers he represents have long voiced their frustration with a visa system that results in serious delays hiring workers or not having enough labor altogether to harvest crops. They're not interested in the politics in the nation's capital. They're interested in running their farms and their ranches. They're interested in knowing that they've got a steady supply of labor. And so Wayne took the trouble to write a letter to the Greeley Tribune about why he's supporting this bill. And, Madam President, since he said it better than I could ever say myself, I'd ask that it be included in the record.
Without objection.
Thank you, Madam President. Some critics, it will not surprise people around here, are using the same old tired talking points in an effort to delay and kill this bill altogether. But the people of Colorado know better, and the people across this country know better. They know that passing this bill is critical to strengthening our country's borders. It will make us safer and our security, aligning our immigration system with the needs not of a 20th century economy or a 19th century economy, but of the 21st century economy our children are expecting us to build, and honoring our heritage as a nation of laws and a nation of immigrants. That's why a growing number of Americans support fixing our broken immigration system, and 70% support a tough but fair pathway to citizenship, and that's what's contained in this bill. So I look forward to working with my colleagues in the days and weeks ahead to find ways we can even improve this bill. And at the end of the day, pass legislation that will make us stronger as a nation and better serve the next generation of Americans and the generation after that. Since our founding, there are a number of things that have made us spectacular as a country, but there are two that are hard to find anywhere else. We are a nation that subscribes to the rule of law, and we are a nation of immigrants. With this bill, we reassert both of those principles, and I think we have a golden opportunity to come together again and say that Washington isn't just about playing our own politics, it's about doing the people's business, and that we can show this place can actually work together again to accomplish something very important for all of America.